Hi guys, welcome back. And today I am gonna discuss Hotel de Luna episode 2. I do have my notes here. Hopefully I could keep track on them because I've written a lot. I've written a lot. It's like 6 pages. Anyway, let's go. Let's get it. And I'm gonna place the screenshot in here as usual and let's get on with it. If you haven't watched this episode, please do watch it first and then come back and then let's discuss, okay? Opening scene is this old dude is killed. As we've seen in the previous, by the end of episode 1, Manuel killed someone, right? So we're gonna see that. Shansung was worried that this is happening, that what happened to that old guy since he's dead now. He went to that old guy and he was like, okay, what's happening? And he saw that his ashes is just left there and there is nothing going on. After his ashes were left, he was like, what is happening? He was so curious. And then while he was doing that, there was a hand reaching out of the ashes and he suddenly removed his foot from his shoe and left his shoe there. And we saw Manuel was there and he was asking questions about it as to why is this happening and what will happen to the body. And Manuel was like, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be cleaned up by a Grim Reaper. And he was like, okay. And he wanted to get his shoe back, so he asked Manuel, can you please get my shoes back for me? And she was like, are you sure you really want to do that? But he did he got his shoes back and he was trying to put it on, and Manuel was trying to scare him off by saying, are you really gonna wear that shoes again? So instead of wearing it, he just threw it away in the bin. And of course he needed new shoes, so Manuel and him went to a department store. They bought shoes and the shoes was not what he wanted, because since the store was about to close, he had no choice and they were arguing. And by the time that the store was announcing that they will be closed, that's the shoe that he was holding, the shoe that Manuel chose for him. So cut to the next scene, we see an accident as to where someone was being fetched because they're dead. So he saw his own body and he was being fetched by someone, and he rode a car and the plate number on the car says to heaven. So they're on their way to heaven, and we will see that it's the Samdo River. So it is a place where it's another world for dead souls. So going back to Manuel and Chanso, Manuel is trying to tell him, she's warning him that you should not leave, you should not try to escape, because whatever you have right now, this site that you have, it's dangerous for him because he really needs someone who would take care of him. So, and it would be safer if he is with Manuel, because Manuel is, since she is the owner of Hotel de Luna and she is very capable of controlling ghosts, she knows what to and what not to do. They were talking about the differences of a good ghost and a bad ghost, because Manuel reminded him that he should be able to differentiate a good ghost and a bad ghost, since the one that Manuel killed is a bad ghost and the one that he saw at the restaurant, the little kid, is a good ghost. She told him that he should be careful and that he should be able to differentiate them. And on that discussion, as the mall was about to close, he asked Manuel as to where she stands, since she is not a normal human being. Manuel scared him by saying that there's a ghost beside him, which is the girl with no eyes. And on her way home, Manuel was thinking about it. So yeah, I actually gave it a thought as well after that scene. I was like, okay. Moving on, we see a mom and a kid feeding kittens when the little girl stood up and followed something. And when she followed that thing, we saw a tiger, but her mom did not see it when she fetched her. So I was like, is this tiger dead? And yes, it is dead. Going back to Manuel. Manuel was wondering if the tree behind the hotel is alive, since the question of Chansung was raised and her thoughts were swarming around it. So she wanted to know if the tree that stood behind their hotel is alive or not. And Mr. No, her manager at the hotel, said that it is alive. It is a part of you. It's your other half. So it should be alive. Because she was wondering, because it's not blooming any flowers, it's not doing anything, it's just standing tall, it's just there, and so I kind of get where she is, and she is confused as to why she is still alive. Manuel felt the presence of the tiger, so she went out and she was about to fetch it, but the tiger just looked at her and they just stared at each other, and then it went away. And she said it's a dangerous thing for such mystical creatures to roam around on Earth. So, cut off to Chansung, we see him in deep thought, and the ghost with no eyes is still with him. And the next day, he went to the hotel since it is his job. He was assisted by a receptionist to Manuel's office, and after that, we see that he was curious of Mr. No, because after the receptionist brought him up, Mr. No was there, and he's like, Manuel is waiting for you, and he's like wondering if Mr. No is a real human being or not. He's like doing the thing. So he touched his back, and Mr. No was like, yeah, I am a human being. You have nothing to be worried. You have nothing to worry about. I am not a ghost. So, while he was waiting for Manuel in the office, he saw the old photos of the hotel, how it was before and after, and he saw that Manuel has lived for a long time. So, Mr. No said that Chansung will be replacing him since he is the only one getting old and he worked there for 30 years. Cut to the part where Manuel is already talking to Chansung as to Chansung denying the job. He really doesn't want to work at Hotel de Luna. And Manuel laughed and explained that the ghost with no eyes went easy on him. Manuel reminded him that there are some ghosts that you just have connections with, and no matter what you do, you will always be connected with them, and that's why that girl is always with him. So Chansung didn't want to cater to the dead, since he does not believe that it's a real hotel, the Hotel de Luna. But Manuel pointed out the business registration that they have on the wall. She's trying to prove that it is a legit hotel, it's not fake, and that it's just not for humans, basically. So she said that the hotel basically exists to comfort the guests by giving them the chance to fulfill the things that they were not able to fulfill when they were alive, which is for me like a nice concept for a hotel. Like, imagine being dead and you were able to do the things that you were not able to do when you were alive, and you're given that chance, and you have a nice hotel to stay at. Isn't that cool? In exchange, he paid her what his dad owed them before, but he can still see ghosts, so he has no choice but to work for him. So this is the part where he gave her the bank book, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna pay you the remaining debt. Please just let me go. Let me live a normal life. Manuel asked him to drive her around and to bring her, and they're gonna catch a tiger. So they're talking, and Chansung said that he could get used to the dead. Manuel wanted to test it out. This is the part where we see Manuel and Chansung. They are in a coffee shop, and she was like, okay, so since you are firmly believing that you could be that you could face this ghost, we're gonna see that. We're gonna put that to test. So she did put that to test by just touching the candle, and everything turned black and white. I'm just gonna talk about the production side, because the editing style for this is like so cool. I find it amazing that they had time to do. I mean, it's not risky or anything. It's just a nice transition, because you would see how very detailed Korea is. I've never seen that kind of editing in the Philippines, or maybe I just don't watch Philippine television that much. But from what I've seen on TV, it doesn't really happen that much. Anyway, they executed the scene through Manuel touching the candle, and everything turned black and white. The buzzer to get the coffee was there, and Manuel said, "If you could do it, don't spill the coffee that you're about to get." He went to the cashier. He was about to grab his coffee. When he turned around, the ghosts were there. And the thing is, I love it when they shot the coffee cup, because coffee cup is still color orange. It's the only thing that has color, and he's really trying to maintain the coffee. He's trying to avoid it from spilling because it is a challenge. But at the end, he wasn't able to do it. He barely got through it, and Manuel was like, "Yeah, tell me, how could you survive in the real world when you can see such things and you cannot even control them?" Like, like, she is speaking the truth, and I kind of agree with her that Chan-suk really cannot do it. The staff at the hotel are discussing about Chan-suk, and we see Manuel enter, and she's so mad because Chan-suk kept boasting about his master's degree from Harvard, and Mr. No is about to die and asked as to when Chan-sung could start taking over his place, and she let him go and have his last moments as a human being, which is like, there's a part there where we see the other coworkers saying that she doesn't have a heart. So we can see that she's just trying to be strong. She's just trying not to be weak in front of her employees. That is why she is kind of cold. But I know that she is not. I believe that she has more than what they think she is. And she has a heart, and I believe that. So Chan-sung returned to his hotel, his original hotel, and saw a bunch of ghosts. He is having troubles at work since he has seen ghosts and has no choice but to jump to the pool. So this is the part where he is in the pool area, and his supervisor talking to a bunch of foreigners, clients, and he was about to be introduced, but the girl with no eyes is there, and he is just too scared. So what he just did is he jumped off the pool just to save himself. So Manuel left and saw the flyer that was in his jacket with a tiger on it, since he was curious as to what happened to it. They visited the chairman's home, the chairman of the hotel, and to find a tiger. And while they were there, Manuel was roaming around, and inside the bedroom we see she saw the painting, and Chan-sung saw the shadow of the tiger, and Manuel said that the tiger didn't want to leave something behind in a place where he doesn't recognize. That's the reason as to why the tiger did not have any companion when it stayed in South Korea when it was brought back there, because it doesn't really want to leave something behind in a place that is foreign for it. The owner of the hotel said that it's not up to him to return the remains of the tiger. So the old dude said that because Manuel said that it's the only thing that could leave the tiger in peace. And so yeah. So Chan-sung asked Manuel as to why they didn't take the tiger with them. And she said that it's probably waiting for the chairman to die, and she really cannot force something to go with her, and that the tiger is the one that is making the chairman sick, which is really sad, because imagine you're a rich person and a dead tiger is hunting you. Like, Manuel told Chan-sung to get rid of the tiger in exchange of the painting. This is how they get money to fund the hotel, and Chan-sung does not like it. Now this part, I was kind of on Chan-sung's side, but later on I realized that it has a good intention. So we're gonna talk about that in a while. So Chan-sung is talking to Mr. No regarding their work. So this is the part where Chan-sung was walking home, and he saw Mr. No, and they were talking about their work, and Mr. No knows that how Chansung hates it, how he doesn't want to go back to the hotel, but told him that to give it some time and he will appreciate it in the end. Because I actually relate to this. Like, it really speaks to me on a lot of level because I'm working now, and I believe that working is something that is not easy to do. I believe that if you work, you take time to adjust, you take time to understand what is going on in the company you're at, and once you get used to it, you're gonna learn to love it, unless it's something that you really really hate. But as we've said, we humans tend to adapt. We should adapt. We are adapting species. So whatever it is that is in front of us, I'm sure that we would be able to adapt to it as long as it's something that we are enjoying and something that we love. So while this was happening, while they were talking, Mr. No and Chansung, Chansung's friend asked him what he's doing there alone, and he said that he was talking to someone. And when he looked at the seat in front of him, there is no one there. That's when he realized that Mr. No is dead, which is sad because he just got released. Anyway, so Mr. No came to the hotel as a guest, and Manuel is having a moment with Mr. No. They were staring at a tree, and she felt bad for letting him go too late. So they were talking, and she felt bad that she just let him go and do the most human things when he is about to die. And she wanted to tell him that we would see each other again, but she said that she cannot say that because she doesn't know, and she's not certain as to when she will die. And Mr. No was like, you know what, you're like a sister to me, a daughter to me, a granddaughter to me, and I hope that your life would continue. He meant that it's like Manuel's time stopped. She's frozen in time. She's like, her lifespan is frozen in time, and he hoped that her time would run again so that she could rest in peace peacefully, because it's sad to be immortal forever, especially when the people you care about die in front of you. So I kind of get as to why they were having that moment, because they were really close and he worked for her for 30 years. So we can see that she really has a heart, and this is a side that she doesn't really show often to her employees. But I hope that they would understand as to why she is like that. But so after that, after they talked, Mr. No was sent off into a limousine to heaven. So I just want to talk about the technical side of this scene, where I'm gonna just place it here again. So the color grading is exceptional, and the shots as well really expresses how Manuel's loneliness and sadness is executed. Like, it's just there. You can feel it from the colors and the shots, and how it was cleanly edited, and from the way the camera moves, and it's amazing. I wish I could, be a part of something like that. So Chansung went back to the chairman and helped him free the dead soul of the tiger, but the chairman said that Manuel already talked to him. She did exactly what she told Chansung to do, and he realized that the painting and the tiger is connected since they both came from North Korea. This is where he realized what Manuel was trying to tell him when she saw the mountains that she wanted to eat, because it's a pair, like whenever you do something, it's like you have to do with this as well. Like, for example, when you wear socks, you have to wear shoes, because it's the purpose of you wearing socks is to wear your shoes, right? Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyway, so cut to the part where she talked to the tiger, explaining that the place it called home does not exist anymore, but there is a better one for it, and it should be able to rest in peace. The tiger went inside the painting and rested there peacefully. So this is the part where we see she took the tiger and was able to place it in a more harmonious place. Okay, so Chansung sees the ghost with no eyes again, and he is going to take her to the Hotel de Luna finally. And they were in a taxi cab on their way, and he was talking to the ghost freely, but then again the driver cannot see the ghost, so he finds him weird. And he was trying to tell the ghost that something encouraging, and somehow the ghost's eyes were back. So I kind of find it cool. So he sent a text to Manuel apologizing because he realized that what he said to her is not something that he should have said, because he just said it out of context. And also, I forgot to add to the part where he's talking to Mr. No that there are things that you would not understand because it's very different from the human world. So, but if you look at it in a very objective manner, you would understand as to why Manuel does the things that she did or that she do. Put it apart, we saw a kid remove the red thing from a display, and Chanton stopped him, and then he realized that there is something inside the armor, and he tries to ignore it because we will see that there is a blue eye on the armor that he saw. So on the way the way the camera moves when he was walking alone is mesmerizing. This is the part where he was walking alone in the hotel, and the shots there is so amazing. I find it cool and pretty, and it executed properly as to how and why he is his feelings. And the sounds, actually, sounds are very important in emotions when it comes to emotional scenes. So it's trying to scare us, and it worked, but then it was just he was being observant. So when he looked around, just saw its customer asking about the time of the pool, if it's still available at night. So when he was about to point the pool as to where it is, the customer went there. He saw the armor in front of him, and he ran because he remembered Manuel said that you should be able to differentiate the bad ghost from the good ghost, because the bad ghost can kill you. While he was running, when he reached the part outside, they went outside. He kept running, and then he suddenly was about to be killed. Then we saw Manuel, and Manuel saved him by killing the ghost. So Manuel responded verbally regarding the text that Chansung sent her, and she saved him and forgave him, and then he said thanks and fainted. So while that happened, we had a flashback scene where Manuel is with someone, and they're talking, and she's talking to him about how she envies trees for being able to survive by standing still and just settling down in one place. And the person she was with promised to build a house for her beside a tree, but she said that she doesn't want to live with that person. Now, we don't know a lot about Manuel's past, and it's crazy weird because she has a very colorful past, and I wonder what she did or what she had done in order to own Hotel de Luna. Fast forward, we see Chan Sung will wake up in the hotel, and it's the first time that he sees the hotel at night. He sees how it is being run, and he was assisted by the receptionist, so he can finally see what the hotel looks like, especially at night. And he was reminded of what Mr. No told him before, and he realized that it's just the same as, the one that he works at. And we see Manuel walking down the stairs because they're gonna talk, I guess. And she just looks so pretty. Aya looks so pretty. Like, all her clothes here look so pretty, and I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to the wardrobe as to how and why they were able to do that to give Ayu such beautiful clothes. Anyway, that's it. Oh my gosh, I was able to finish episode 2, and I was reading my notes. That properly helped me. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope that I was able to discuss everything. I hope I wasn't able to forget any scene, or I hope that we're able to recap it with me, had someone to talk to with. And yeah, I really find it crazy and amazing as to I'm really curious as to about Manuel's background. I really wish and hope that we would get more answers. I don't know about you guys. Like, what is your thoughts? Do you have any theories as to what happened to her in the past? Because Manuel's life is really crazy and weird, and I do hope that we get answers. And no matter what it is, we have to be able to get it and take it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that your day is better than mine. Goodbye. Okay, so that was the end of episode 2, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you like it, please subscribe and like and share. I don't know, and let's discuss it on the comments down below. And that's it for this video. It's actually 11:17, and I don't know. I'm really sorry for not uploading this second episode for a month. I was really busy with work and from moving from one room to another. That's it. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.